Hey, cool kids, cool kids. Today, I went by my coin shop, local coin shop, and was able to get a couple things. And we will have a look at them. First thing is this labor medallion, labor union medallion. And it's for transportation, United Transportation Union. I guess this is for the union leaders or something. Has a little book. And it just talks about the metal. Okay, it says when 4 operating railroad unions joined to form the United Transportation Union. Interesting. Now, what's it made out of? Well, the other side doesn't say. And the booklet doesn't seem to say anything either. But anyway, it was only $1, so I didn't feel too bad. Now, this is a very high relief type thing. So I turn it a little bit sideways. You can see how their faces pop off the surface quite a bit. But I kind of liked it, and I thought it was an interesting looking thing. It was different. Now we go on to some foreign silver. This is 75% silver. Might have been one of the last years that they made this in silver. It's from the Netherlands. And this is probably their prime minister at the time, maybe, or a queen. I don't know if they had a monarchy system then or not. I know they used to, but I don't know when it went away. I don't know a whole lot about this. All I know is the amount of silver in this coin is 0.3472 ounces. So it's just a bit over a third of an ounce. And at 765, I believe this is under melt. I can do a calculation. You just take the 2330 or so that silver's running right now, divide this by, not divide, I mean multiply 0.3478. Tells you 810. Well, 810 is how much at 2330 this much silver should be worth. And the fact that it was 765 means this foreign silver was below melt. Now, I did figure out this Mexican coin's price. Now, online, everybody asks for a lot more than what I paid for this. It's melt at the price when I checked it, 30 grams, 900 fine silver, and it's 0.868 ounces. I figured it out, it's melt to be about $20.18 at recent prices. Well, I paid 19, so I got this one under melt. Sometimes you get lucky. And actually, this $half was under melt too. It's a 40% Kennedy, 1967, with a weird antiquing style look to the surface of the coin. And even the edge is kind of dark. I don't know. Maybe it was sitting somewhere where it does look like someone swiped dirt and stuff off of it, or maybe it did get carried around in pockets for a little while. or something. I don't know, but it was 335 when melt on these 40% ones was 343 or something like that. Just a few cents under melt. Those are the kind of coins that you can get under melt. Other coins you can't really get under melt. This one was even though it's worn, the 5144. That refers to how much weight this has, ASW of silver. Now it's slightly worn, so the 1150, if the price is 23.30 or something, would say it's less than melt because it's over half an ounce. Now, this much wear might take this from 0.5144 to 0.5025 or something. A little, maybe all the way down to about a 0.5 ounce, so half an ounce basically. But even if it is down to a half an ounce at 1150, and the price of silver lately is 23.30 or something, it would be just barely under melt. Foreign silver you can sometimes score great deals on. Now, I had a video for this. I was looking up details about it. Now, I know they made a silver one. This is the silver Jubilee coin, but this one isn't silver. It's not thick enough, and I don't think they're gold plated. Now, this is apparently from a coin dealer who's selling one on eBay, claims it's 22 karat gold. I do not know for sure if that's really gold or not, but if it is, it's not very much to add any value to the coin. Now, the one seller on eBay I saw had one of these. They were asking $535, and this was in this medallion, well, this coin holder mount, and you can see it says $1. So if it's worth $5 and I was able to buy it for $1, someone didn't look it up, didn't care to look it up because they probably didn't have much money in it when they bought it. They probably bought a large lot of coins at a certain price per coin. I'm guessing with this being priced at $1, they probably got each coin for maybe 10 cents less than $1 or more, maybe. Because I know the guy that buys this stuff and sells it doesn't mark them up a lot. Usually he's a little bit, well, let's just take the fact that he had $50 today for $10, and I'm looking online in a lot of places, APMEX, Money Metals, those kind of places were asking about $14 a piece once you done the division. This is just copper. It's probably higher than it should have been at 35 cents because there's not much collectible. Well, some people like Mexican coins, but there is just a copper. It's one of the nicer looking ones like this I've seen. I have a few other ones that aren't too bad. Like this one I used to think was one of my better looking ones. It's from 74 in terms of wear, that is. Has a little bit darker appearance than this one. This one's much brighter than that one. But in terms of wear and tear on the coin, it doesn't look like it has any wear and tear. It's just picked up some weird toning or coloring. Now, sometimes this is way over melt, but these barbers in any kind of shape that isn't worn totally flat on the face are generally a few dollars over, twice melt at least. I did look up melt for dimes, but I don't remember what it was exactly. $1.60, $1.70, maybe $1.80. I don't know, somewhere around that neighborhood recently. So $4 is over twice melt, but this coin's a little bit of in this kind of condition, is a little bit better condition than barber dimes usually are. Now, when you do buy something that's a little more rare from him, you'll pay more. Now, it's an 1878, and you're like, well, there's nothing too special, and it's kind of worn, and it has environmental damage, but that's not the key thing about this one. This one is an 8 tail feather edition, and they only made 750,000 of them, and then they changed it to 7. Now, how many of these survive in any kind of good condition? I don't know. This would be hard to say it's much better than good because it's not going to straight grade with this stuff on it. I mean, it's heavily circulated too, but with the details left, it would be at least good 4. So they'd probably send it, if you send it to be graded, they'd send it back details, environmental damage, maybe there's something else about it that might be on there too, cleaned, who knows. But then they would say it was good details, maybe even very good details, because I'm trying to remember how much wear it takes to knock it from very good to good, what has to still be on the coin to be very good. But one like this, its rarity is more what makes it worth money. A Morgan dollar 1878 that's worn like this. My coin dealer had a couple of the earlier ones in a bag that were beat up pretty bad, about like this one, probably maybe a little more wear, for $26.50 a piece, 2 in the bag. This one is, it's just a rarity, and that makes it worth a little bit more. Now, I don't know how long I want to go live tonight. Doesn't seem like anybody's really showing up. I had a couple people show up, but no one said anything, so I might bring this down for the night. But this, I did quite like getting this one. In terms of wear and tear on this, doesn't look like much to me. I mean, there's some wear contact marks and maybe a little wear. So I'd say this is very fine to AU range, perhaps. Like I said, I don't know much about the collectability of these. There's a good nick right in the middle of her nose. I don't know if you'll be able to see it very well. But anyway, it's under melt. If it does have any collectability, then it's a double score because I bought it for under melt, and it could be resold at whatever the collector price is, which is why this one shouldn't have been 19 bucks. I've been looking for one of these for years. Saw them online. Said, this is a really cool looking thing. Now, they make a silver round that has this same front on it, but it's 1 troy ounce, and it's a generic, and when you flip it over, it is the Aztec calendar. I'd like to get one or two of those. Heck, I'd like to get a whole 2 of them. Who am I kidding? I'd like to have more of these too, but I don't think I'll be able to get very many of these at a price that is much lower than what most online dealers try to sell them for. I got lucky because the coin dealer I buy from probably bought all this in a large batch of foreign silver stuff, and just went through and looked at the ASWs, how much silver's in each coin, and he prices it by that. And the guy who sold it to him probably sold it based on its melt value too. Otherwise, he would have had it for more, because he has had some foreign silver coins much higher than their melt, but they have to be more collectible. I don't know that these are real super collectible in terms of rare mintage. They made quite a few of them, I think, and it was a circulation coin, not a bullion type coin. So, and this one does have a little bit of a ring ding over here, which you're going to price it because it would be like extra fine to maybe AU range. Hello, dolls. How much do you think I paid for this, or have you already seen my video for this? Dolls, Dolly, that is. What do you think I paid for this one if you haven't seen my video talking about it? It's 48, 30 grams, 90% silver Mexican coin. That there's a few scratches on it, but it's in pretty good shape. Does have some wicked toning along the edge, although a little bit of handling on the edge. 15. Do you know how much APMEX wants for these? Depends. 15. Well, you know what the melt on this is? This is 0.868 ounces. So the melt on this particular coin is 2018. $20.18 for melt price. 30. Well, the online, I checked APMEX, they have them. This particular coin, they want $40 and change. It's on sale right now. It's usually about $45. And you'll get a 47 or a 48. They don't let you pick at that price. Now, I think there is an option to buy a BU one of these, but it's like $60 for the 48. Now, where's that paper? You're probably not going to believe this. And this is what it was in. It says 0.90 and it says 0.868, which is the silver content. But look at the price. $19. This has been in this holder for decades probably, because this holder is, the cardboard's just disintegrating. I'm guessing this might have been put in a holder a few years after that. But anyway, like I said, sounds about right. $19 for this. I was like, that's a screaming buy, when I didn't even really consider what they were selling for on APMEX. I'd seen them, but I had never really paid much attention to the price because I never see them, and I don't online order very often. When I got it for $19, I was pretty happy. I consider it quite a score to get one of these for that kind of price. Now, it does have scratches and nicks on it, so it's extra fine maybe if you grade it, and it does have the ring damage over here. It's not very much, but it's been dropped on that corner. And that one's scratched. Little scratches like that would prevent anybody from ever sending this in to be graded, but I have seen some in graded holders, and they're asking $200 or $300 for them because they're like mint state 66 and stuff. But I will buy another one of these if I ever find it for around melt, for sure. I would like to get the 47. Now, I'm currently trying to get, it's mostly odd years. I'll go grab them real quick. These are big Mexican coins too, but they're only 10%. Most of them's environmental damaged. But they made these from 1958 to 67, I believe it was. This is a 58. Although the middle part of the 8 is kind of scraped. They're only 10% silver. I think it was Addicted to Minis. Said that they make this by, this is a 67. They have a copper center, and then they encase the copper in silver, more than plating, but by weight it's only 10% silver. So this thing has barely got much more silver on it than a war nickel, I believe. They're very big though. I mean, when you compare it to a Morgan dollar, it's bigger than a half dollar and a bit smaller than a Morgan dollar. But this behemoth of a coin, I'll lay my Morgan dollar, and you can see it's a little bit more diameter. It's about the same thickness, roughly, but it does have a bit more silver to it. They're both 90%. By the way, I ping tested it last night when I was talking about it. I took it to somewhere and got some ice and put it on there and watched the ice melt rapidly, and the coin got super cold, so I know it's not fake. And it weighs right near 30 grams. It's right on the nose pretty much. I mean, my scale's not super accurate. But anyway, on these, I've got like the 60, the 58, 62, 64, 66. But in terms of having odd number years, I have a 67, and that's it. All the rest of them are even years. So I want to get, out of all of them I have, this one's probably the best looking one. I want to get the odd years and have the complete year run. Someone said the 65 is a little bit, I think they said 65 on these is a little bit harder to come by. But it's a silver-ish coin. I mean, 10%, it's not that much silver. So if you ever find them, don't pay very much for them. Unless they're like brilliant uncirculated ones. These are, I think the melt on this is maybe $1. It's really low, so, but you probably won't be able to buy one from anybody for less than about $2, maybe $2.50. If it's brilliant uncirculated, I might be convinced to pay $3 for it, four maybe even $5, but I don't know. I'd have to think about the $5. If they didn't have anything else, then I probably would. But anyway, I don't know if you're still watching, but this, it's a 67 JFK with what looks like an antique finish to it. I mean, it's an insane kind of look to it, and I really like how it looks like this, even though it's not worth much. But it was in a bag with a whole bunch of other 40%. They were $3.25 each if you bought the entire bag. But he said, if you want to pick one, I'll let you pick, but you're gonna pay 10 cents more for the coin. So $3.35. I just checked melt on these. They're like $3.43. So this was just a bit under melt. Which, why wouldn't you buy it then? I mean, it's less than melt. And that's the same thing with this Netherlands coin. It's melt because it's 750 or 75% silver, and it's supposed to be 3472 of silver. So that comes out to about 810 on the melt at recent prices, and it was 765, so it was under melt. That's how, if I can get silver under melt, I'm pretty happy about that. I did get a second one of these if you're still around. This one's worn out a lot more than my other one, but this shield and eagle design on this, I really, really like that. Even worn out, I don't care. It's a 1907, and I believe there's an estimate there. The United States made these for the Philippines, so, and like I said, this one is just over half an ounce of silver in it, 80%. So it's a lot better amount of silver per coin than what these are. You'd have to have, if I remember correctly, these are 0.05 ounces each of silver in them. So to get to half an ounce, you'd have to have a lot of these, and then you're starting to talk about volume problems because they take up a lot of space. They're like war nickels in a way, lower percentage, or even these JFK 40%. Same kind of thing, because to stack these, it takes about 7 of them per ounce. So if you've got hundreds of them or thousands, it starts taking up a lot of space. And they're not ones that'll probably ever go up much in value. Most people don't even want to buy them even under melt. But I don't know. I don't want to go live too much longer, but just go over these again, show off this medallion for the joining up of 4 different unions of the railroads to make this United Transportation Union. And I don't even know if it's still around. There's been a lot of consolidation in railroads, so who knows. I know they have some kind of union, but I don't know what. I don't know, dolls. Nice. Oh, you're still around. Cool. Now, you can see what this is, right? I'm hoping this is coming out good on the... Looks sharp through my camera, but it goes in and out a little some. Because, I don't know, you can tell what the deal with this coin is. You know what this one is then. 1878. It's worn a bit, and it's got this gunk that looks like dirt. 8-tail feather edition. Now, the price says 65, but he said if I wanted it, he took $5. He said if you want it today, I'll let you have it for 60. So I bought this, and the rest of this little stack here. I don't think this wasn't in it, but the Mexican coin that looks really good. 20 centavos in a 1903 barber dime that's in better shape than they usually are. Bought all that Saturday and went back today and looked at the same box this came out of it's foreign stuff in this, and found this one. And it was under melt, so I'm not complaining. I'll have to look it up after this and see if it actually has some collectible value. Because if it does, I could just change that price and resell it and make a profit. If, of course, that's finding a buyer too. If you price it too high, you might not be able to find a buyer. Now, my coin dealer still has quite a few of these 1-ounce rounds left. But I was told by the guy who works there, someone came in and was talking about some of these. This particular one, being a Pearl Harbor one, he said the guy said it's a little bit more collectible than just generic. And not that one so much. These two probably should be too, because they're commemoratives for the Walker and Peace. Not Peace. They make a 2-ounce one for the Peace dollar, but somebody does. This is a Standing Liberty. And I know some people really like the A-Mark Liberty Bell ones. This one's an older one with an actual date on it. It's 40-year-old, 83. But he had quite a few of these still left. Most of them are the kind that has the back where you can have an open section to etch a name in or something if you want. I don't like to buy those too much. I like to buy ones that's got a design on both sides. If I'm buying 1-ounce generics, even Buffaloes. But if you like selling ships, you got to get one of these. It says 74, and it's the USS Constitution. And it says, honest value never fails. And it's got, really nice looking selling ship rendering on this. And on the back, it says it's part of the Constitution. I guess it was made in Provo, Utah. Article 1, Section 10, which reads, no state shall make anything but gold and silver coin a tender in payment of debts. Well, we didn't know that isn't being followed. Probably should be. They still made silver and gold our standards, there'd be a lot less playing around for money and devaluing of it. And you can take that to the bank if you want, because it's the truth. When everybody's making silver, it more fairly across countries, more fairly made trade, because certain countries can devalue their money a lot, making their goods cheap relative to other countries, and export stuff really cheap where greed will take over and people will try to get stuff made in that country cheap and then send it to countries where it's a lot more expensive to make stuff. Simple economics. But one last thing I want to talk about. This is a hunting themed knife. It's got bucks on it. It's made by Kentucky Cutlery Company. But the thing about this one is it doesn't have a slot for grabbing to open the blade. And this tip is extremely sharp. The tip. It's very pointed, very sharp. I've almost cut myself opening it before, so this is a knife that needs to be handled with respect because it can hurt you a little bit. Now, the blade itself, the sharpness doesn't seem as when I cut open an envelope with it, had a few, didn't tear clean, so I don't know that it keeps its sharpness. Of course, paper on metal typically, steel blades typically dulls them. So, yeah, be careful. You're right. Be careful. But I do like the fact that it's got the bucks on it. I know people who like to hunt would probably love to have a knife like this for carrying while they're hunting in case they need it for whatever reason. But it's a heavy knife. It's got a pocket belt clip that's really tight. Can't hardly even open it with my bare fingers. You can pry it open with something like a coin, probably. Let's see if we can slide the quarter. Yeah. You can slide a quarter under it. This isn't a collectible silver one or nothing. It's one of the modern state quarters. I probably just scratched it up a little bit doing that. Yep. But that'll never be worth anything anyway. But a quarter. But don't want to go too much longer. But I did want to go on and talk. Now, I'm going to leave a little note for Addicted to Minis because I opened this saying the same thing he usually says, or he sometimes says in his videos. He usually always comes on almost singing, "Hey, cool kids, cool kids." And today he went from that right into today, and he said it something like that. So I kind of tried to imitate him a little bit, just to needle him some. Maybe he'll have a reaction to it. And that's always fun. But I'm going to go ahead and wish everyone a good night. Got to go back to work tomorrow to earn money to buy this kind of stuff. But spend your money wisely when you're buying this stuff, though. Know what you're looking for and know what kind of price it should be. So if you find it somewhere cheaper, you can get it. Now, it just so happens the fact that this is in such an old holder. And that 19, I think that was written recently. Let's say if the writing looked like this up here at the top, then I would say someone had this priced in their shop for a long time, but that price looks more recent. Now there is something right here. I'm trying to see what that says. It's been marked out. Almost looks like it says 39 with a cash symbol. So maybe this was marked at $39 by somebody at one point. I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and end this for the night. Hope everyone has a good time. Good night. And hopefully you'll have a good week, and then we can get back together live maybe Thursday or Friday night, because I don't really plan on going live again until then. I don't want to go live every night. Well, Dolly, you have a good night too, and thanks for stopping by and keeping me in company for a little bit, and getting to see a few things I've bought recently. Because all these are within the last few weeks. My coin dealer bought a massive number of silver rounds. Bought quite a few silver bars too, probably about 100. But he's probably bought 500 or 600 rounds at least. I know I looked through a lot of them, picked out ones I like the design of. And I don't know if you've seen AG Stacker's video, but he'd sent me some nice stuff, so I sent him one of these. Not this one like this though. The one I sent didn't have a date. It looked a lot like it otherwise. And something happened to the package along the way. And we can't prove anything, but we think someone might have stole it. But he's talked to the postmaster general, and that guy apparently is researching around and seeing if it could have been ripped out of one of the machines and ripped it out and dropped it into some kind of catch thing. If that happened, he might be able to get it, and he might get it eventually. I hope he does, because I mean, I've never had anything. Anytime I've ever sent something in the mail, I've never had the envelope get ripped open and what was in it come out, because this was in a clasp envelope, which is, compared to normal letter envelope, kind of like this thing, it's not much heavier than a regular envelope. But the clasp envelopes are a lot thicker than a regular letter envelope. And I stuck it in a regular envelope inside that was folded, and then another envelope, and then the clasp envelope, clasp envelope. And it got ripped out somehow. Everything else was there, so that's why we think someone stole it, but we can't prove it. Now, if it did end up in one of the catch bins at the post office, he might be able to get it. If they go through and they find it, he might get it, which I hope he does. I hope it wasn't stolen, because you trust the mail to deliver your stuff. You don't think that the carrier or anybody that works at the postal office is going to risk their job over a piece of silver that's worth maybe $30 tops. Because the penalty for stealing the mail or stealing from the mail is up to 5 years in prison and up to $100,000 fine. If you work for the post office, you're probably getting on the harsh end of that. You might get both. You're definitely losing your job. In a postal job, compared to working at a lot of other places, you get paid well. It's not worth risking your job over this unless you feel like you're getting fired anyway. So it's like maybe I can get away with it and they won't know. But it's sickening to think that someone who works for the post office stole it out of the envelope. But one never knows. Anyway, thanks for stopping by. I hope everyone has a good rest of the night, and we will see you next time.